All right, we'll get started then. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Again, morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining in. I'm Akash from the Microsoft Product Group. I'm part of the System Center Product Group, and along with me, you may have worked with a few of my colleagues. We are a team of about 10 program managers with multiple software engineers, and we are passionate about system center products, and at the same time I'm very much inclined towards monitoring scenarios, making sure customers get the best of system center. And SCOM is the product which I work on, and I'm glad to be associated with Silect here. We've been working on multiple projects, and I'm glad to be part of this event, talking to about 100 plus attendees that I see right now. And today's session, I'm going to talk about the roadmap for SCOM, what's ahead, and what we have accomplished over the past few months. I would be centering my presentation around management packs, considering it's MP University, and I'll also, of course, talk about what lies ahead, and some of the management pack investments that have been made from Microsoft. Of course, uh, I would like to call out some of the significant work that has been done by many of the partners over here, be it in MP development or be it in any kind of tools that helps SCOM customers, fill, enabling SCOM customers use the SCOM up to its best. And then, of course, we look to hear your feedback. I have a couple of links that I'm going to go ahead and share, Harold, so that folks who are viewing the presentation can also go ahead and share their feedback, and at the same time, this will help us in collating some of our internal data as well. Right. One moment, I'm just. Okay, I don't know if this goes to the entire audience or is it only for our internal chat, the one I pasted on this chat window.
I'll make sure, Akash, that this gets out to everyone.
Sure, thank you. All right, so moving forward, where's my screen? Yeah, so let's quickly recap on what our life cycle is and how do we go about releasing system center products. We right now, the mainstream products that we are working on are SCOM 2016 and 2019. SCOM 2016 is still in mainstream support, but again, I would definitely encourage all customers to go ahead and move to 2019. We have a few significant announcements that are going to be available next week in Microsoft Ignite event, specifically around the System Center version, the new version of System Center. And I just want to highlight that System Center 2012 and 2020 R2 will reach end of support in July 2022, whoever is on extended support. And 2016 is going out of mainstream support probably next year, July as well. So, as of now, we are servicing 2016 and 2019 forms of update rollups. You may have seen update rollup 3 come up a few months ago, where we introduced significant features such as change tracking and supportability extension to Linux platforms. And at the same time, we continue to do so. Update rollup 4, we are planning to release it next year, somewhere around first quarter of next year. And around the same time, we will also look to release the next update rollup for 2016, probably the last one, right? Having said that, the significant call out in this slide would be the SCOM 2022 preview. As of now, we have previewed the SCOM 2022 to some of our customers whom we are working with closely, and of course, our community who have contributed immensely in form of feedback. So we've released the preview version of SCOM to these targeted audience. Of course, if you are interested in testing this preview out, we'll be more than happy to share the installation bits and look forward to hearing your feedback. Right. once we have enough feedback and once we have a good amount of confidence that what we have in store for preview is going to be good, then we'll announce the dates for GA as well. Again, probably look out for the event hosted in Microsoft Ignite next week for more timeline related announcements. Having said that, what do we have in preview is, hold on, we have made few enhancements in these 4 categories, mainly around security. Of course, security is a constant. It requires a constant vigil and constant updates. So we've gone ahead and introduced few security updates within it. The setup and deployment of SCOM 2022 has been accommodative of some of the features which were introduced in 2019, like GMSA, and also some of the security enhancements will follow through to say setup and deployment, be it with SQL always on and some of the things which we want to call out next week. We have also looked into user experience, some of the feedback that we have heard on user voice, and we've looked into it, be it delegation, permissions, or be it user operation console or web console. We've introduced some of the enhancements into both the consoles, and of course, we've added supportability mainly with Windows Server 2022 because that's the latest operating system. And of course, some of the Linux related platform supportability has been added into SCOM 2022 as well, right? And as mentioned, if you're interested, please mention it out in the Q&A. I'll be more than happy to accommodate you folks for preview program. Right? Having said that, let's switch over to the main content, which is the management pack related updates and roadmap that we have from Microsoft SCOM team. First thing that I would want to call out are the management packs that we have released and as part of version agnostic or any kind of bug fixes or enhancements. I've classified into 2 categories: the version agnostic. About a year ago or a little more than a year ago, we did float a survey as to what management packs are requires update, which one are lacking features, which of those management packs are which of the workloads that require management packs on user voice. And we did get a lot of response, and based on that, we've gone ahead with the approach of making management packs version agnostic. Again, more than happy to hear your feedback on this in this way of making the management pack version agnostic. What happens with this version agnostic is, supposing you have a management pack, let's say for an example ADCS, right, certificate services. You can use a single management pack across multiple SCOM versions as well as multiple ADCS versions. Let's say you're using the ADCS management pack on SCOM 2019. With this ADCS pack, you will be able to go ahead and monitor ADCS 2016, 2019, and you can also use the same thing on SCOM 2016 or 2019. Again, the agent supportability matters. So we are making it version free, agnostic, and of course the MP guides reflect what versions of SCOM it supports and what versions of the workload it supports. So as of now, we've gone ahead and made these 7 management packs as version agnostic. Mainly, we are targeting management packs which have a lot of versions, or rather the workloads which have versions, specifically Microsoft products, right? Like Exchange 2016, 2019, SharePoint 2016, 2019, or ADFS 2016, 2019, which have a lot of versions, right? So we want to make sure that customers have the ease of using just a single management pack and can target multiple versions. And as I mentioned, the disclaimer of agents being the based on what agents can go ahead and monitor, the management packs will go ahead and support. Right. Having said that, some of the management packs which have gone ahead and had feature enhancements or bug fixes are Azure Management Pack. Again, Azure Management Pack, since it's a management pack built for cloud, it definitely goes into continuous integration, continuous deployment. It needs a lot of changes every few months, because Azure at the end of the day is also evolving heavily. So Azure Management Packs will continue to be updated and serviced. We also went ahead and updated Storage Spaces Direct, Windows 10 Server, and SMB, which falls under File Services Management Pack. Um, and some of the things that we have also released as part of our management pack investments or ongoing investigation are the new management packs, which are M365 management pack, for which you have a separate session by Mike after this. And also another big one, which we are planning to release and look forward to take feedback, is on Azure Stack HCI. Right. So this is a pretty new HCI, new management pack, which I'm going to talk about today, a little later on. But yeah, these two are the new management packs that has been released from Microsoft. And some of the upcoming ones that we have in store are remote, RAS rather, and then we have Exchange Management Pack, virtual machine, remote desktop services, and SDN, software delivery networks. Some of this RAS and Exchange, we are looking to make it version agnostic, so that you can use it across multiple versions of the workload. The same goes with VMM, and of course the RDS and the SDN would be more of an update, since there were few issues that were found in the management packs. So these are some of the upcoming management packs that we are looking at. And at the same time, something that we are investigating are these few workloads, which we did hear in our previous user voice. And we definitely want to hear your feedback on the link, which Harold is going to share at a later time. We really want to know amongst these which are one of the top few or the top most needed management packs, right? Be it certificate monitoring, Azure AD Sync. Azure AD Sync, we want to see, we want to go ahead and see if that can be included into Azure management pack, or if it requires a completely a separate management pack per se. Windows 11, again, we definitely want to hear your voice and see if there is a requirement to monitor client operating system Windows 11 from SCOM, right? We did release Windows 10 previously, but we want to see if Windows 11 also requires a management pack. Of course, some of the things that we still want to venture out and see is container monitoring. We have heard this quite a few times on user voice, but again, we have our own Microsoft Azure Monitor, which can do container monitoring, considering containers are hosted in Azure per se. Otherwise, we want to, if Azure Monitor or if the existing monitoring tools are not something that you're looking forward to, but they're mainly looking forward to SCOM, then we definitely want to hear your voice on that. And of course, on the same lines as M365, we want to see if there is a need for monitoring Dynamics 365. Right? Again, these are some of the cloud workloads for which we want to know whether SCOM needs monitoring or not, or rather SCOM wants to do monitoring or not. Right? Having said that, these are some of the updates from management packs, but at the same time, we are also working with the tool which was previously available called the Workflow Analyzer. This helps in monitoring or debugging the workflows which get initiated when the management packs or when management packs are imported and there were monitoring, right? Rule-based workflows or whatever workflows which gets initiated within the management pack. This helps in understanding which workflows are consuming a lot of resources, be it CPU or memory, which one is running for a longer period. This we have tested the beta or the initial version with few internal employees. We plan to release it soon, right? Again, just to give you a background, this tool did exist as part of management pack tools few few years ago, but then all of those tools were deprecated. We're reviving this based on feedback that we have heard from multiple customers as well as SCOM users recently. Right. Another point that I would want to look forward to hearing your feedback is on what other management pack tools that are needed or needs to be revived for us to for SCOM users to use the management pack efficiently, right? And that's part of the feedback survey as well. So looking forward to those. Moving on, let's talk about the management packs that have been released by Microsoft recently. And the first one would be the M365. The next slide. So M365, we've released it in the month of June, end of June or July, rather, and we've seen a huge uptake in the downloads as well as on the on the the usage of it. We're glad that it has helped a lot of customers, mainly who've been looking to monitor M365 from SCOM. We wanted to make sure that SCOM admins are not put in a situation where they have a lot of permissions on M365 or whether they don't have any permissions on M365. We wanted to make it as easy as possible with from setup to monitoring, right? So we introduced wizard-based setup, which made a very a GUI and a user UI way of setting up the management pack and adding the subscriptions and wizard, watch and node, and it goes through a very clean workflow where you go ahead and add the subscription, you create those SPNs, everything automated in the back end. Once the SPNs are created, you go ahead and set up the watcher nodes on whichever agents, right? And of course, we've heard a lot of feedback as to they want to set up watcher node on management servers instead of agents. We've heard you and we are looking into it. We'll talk about what are the upcoming updates in this management pack per se. Again, this is our first version, a lot of learning curve, and we look to improve this management pack in the next upcoming cycles. Right? The existing synthetic transactions that it supports are Exchange, SharePoint, and Teams. Of course, create on the team side, inputting an IM message is something that we are working towards. How long does it take to input an IM message or read an IM message inside of Teams? That is something that we're working towards. Exchange and SharePoint are pretty straightforward. We've got an overwhelming response on how the dashboards are showing the data, and of course, there's a room for improvement in that as well. One of the significant things that we've introduced in this management pack is location tagging, where we get to know if an agent is, let's say, located in Europe, and if the SCOM servers are based out of US, and let's say the M365 cloud itself is based out of let's say Asia. How long does it take for a Europe-based agent, Europe-based work machine, to go ahead and send emails, receive, upload SharePoint documents, and all those synthetic transactions? Of course, we want to go ahead and add more and make it more, have more monitors in them. We will see what can be prioritized in the upcoming cycles. Right? Some of the things that we've also introduced or made use of is the Graph API for all the synthetic transaction. We've also made sure that hybrid monitoring is catered, sending an email from an exchange on-prem to cloud and vice versa. Network monitoring is captured. Let's say ping or trace, all of that is captured, include and of course licensing. That is something that it's a very small feature of M365, but adds a lot of value, where users get to know how many licenses are available, how many are procured, and how many are used in a specific subscription, right? Of course, the first version had these features, and we heard a lot of feedback. Many of the customers have been very collaborative on the feedback side, and this is what we are planning to cover in the next upcoming update. Firstly, the service health dashboard, which by default provides a lot of data in M365, uh, and we use that data and we bring that data within management pack, M365 management pack. But at the same time, we use an API by the name Service Comms API that is being deprecated in December, and this should be an information to all the users who are using the old management pack from Office 60, old management pack from Microsoft, which is Office 365 management pack. I would definitely encourage you guys to go ahead and move to this new one. The reason is we are switching from the old Service Comms API to Graph API, right? And by December, the old Service Comms API will completely stop to function. So you will not see any of the data in the old management pack. So you will need the update as well as the new management pack available in your SCOM environment. Right? So that is that is very critical. The first update. The second one is we've heard a lot of customers talk about application permissions being too vulnerable. Gives a lot of scope for the SPNs to do various activities. There are ways to limit it, but at the end of the day, application permissions can be vulnerable or can expose a lot of data. So we want to go ahead and add delegate permissions in the SPNs, right? And the third one is right now we are using the client ID secrets to go ahead and authenticate. We are planning to introduce certificate as an alternate way to authenticate, right? These certificates will be available on SCOM servers and agents, where the certificates will be used to create the tokens, which will be used for authentication. Right? Another significant feedback, almost 70 to 80% of the feedback that we heard was monitoring multiple SKUs, that is license monitoring from one agent. So the one limitation that we had in the existing management pack is monitoring one SKU, one subscription, or rather one SKU in one agent. We realized that one customer has multiple SKUs added in a single subscription. So he or she should be able to monitor all of them, right? At the end of the day. So we are going to add that into the management pack. And some of the minor improvements or enhancements that we are adding is moving away from ADAL to MSAL library for Office APIs. And right now we are using Skype for Business Network Assessment to go ahead and get some of the data that we talked about previously, like jitter, noise, packet noise ratio, and all of it. There is a subsequent or a replacement tool that is available from Microsoft, and it is Teams as network assessment. So we will be implementing that into the new update. Right? So having said that, just want to call out on how do you guys can share feedback. So the first link is the one that I created just now for this specific event. Uh, it has questions around management pack and the ways to improve the management pack ecosystem. I would definitely encourage you folks to go ahead and fill it. And at the same time, we have gone ahead and moved out from the old user voice. We deprecated the old user voice somewhere in August, and we needed time to curate the old content and transition to the new portal as well as set up the new portal. We have done that, and the new portal can be accessed from aka.ms/scom, right? Just to give you a quick preview, I hope I have it opened. Not, let me just open it. So the new user feedback tool is pretty easy to go ahead and operate. You can just go ahead and create a new idea. You can choose what type of group you want to fall into, whether it is super critical, important, urgent, or urgent and critical, to emphasize the need of it. And of course, there are multiple categories that you can go ahead and choose from. I have pre-populated with few 17 ideas which were there in the old user content, but I would definitely encourage you guys to go ahead and add more into it. Right. Right. So that was more of an announcement. Having said that, we have about another 15 minutes to go ahead and talk about the latest update in management packs, which is the HCI, right? Azure Stack HCI management pack. So just let me give you a quick background on the Azure Stack HCI. So Azure Stack HCI is a new type of workload or operating system, which was introduced a year ago, but now we have the V2 version as well. And this is a hyper convergence operating system where you can go ahead and spin up multiple type of operating system on top of it, and it combines multiple softwares or multiple platforms into its operating system. The first being the Windows operating system or the base operating system, and then comes failover cluster. We have storage spaces direct. We have SDN. All these major platforms combined into this operating system, right? So we have seen quite a bit of adoption for HCI, and we have developed a management pack internally, and right now it's in preview stage. It will be probably released next week as well, along with the Ignite announcements. And whoever is using HCI and using SCOM at the same time, definitely encourage you guys to be part of the CTP. The sign up would be available next week, right? Just to give you a background, we go ahead and set up the, uh, you know, we go ahead and import the HCI management pack, and you will see multiple subfolders on the left-hand side. The base OS, or the operating system, uh, will have multiple dashboards within it, and then it can go ahead and showcase the alerts, the state of those operating system, the state of those failover clusters, the state of those disks, and all of them, right? This is on the computer state where multiple servers are there, and then we have the disk status. If you notice on the left hand side on the folder structure, you have the Azure Stack HCI coming up here. So here. Okay. So the Azure HCI stack on the left-hand side, we have a separate folder out here. Basically, we have combined multiple management packs into this. It required a bit of restructuring, rewriting of the classes, restructuring of the folders, of course, rebranding. A lot of activity went through, and we will be having the CTP soon, right? This is on the disk states, and then we also have of course, the free spaces on the disk space, and the performance, everything shown up under the first folder, that is HCI, right? Unfortunately, I do not have a demo. Apologies for that. And the other workload, which is significantly integrated into HCI, is the Hyper-V dashboard, or rather the Hyper-V platform. So we have a separate folder structure for Hyper-V platform within the HCI as well, right? So now if you look on the left-hand side, so you have the base OS, or the HCI OS structure, and then we have the cluster management. We have then the Hyper-V. Inside the Hyper-V, of course, we have the virtual machine view. We have the hard drive disk space, how much ever is consumed, and available view, health dashboards that are there. Go ahead and navigate around. Alerts which are shown for the Hyper-V side of it, right? Because at the end of the day, it's a separate platform, and alerts would be different for this platform. And virtual machine view, which machine amongst this are heavy, which are healthy, and which are not healthy. And lastly, network usage, virtual network usage within the Hyper-V platform, right? The next significant platform which has been integrated into HCI and that can also be monitored is the cluster dashboard. Right? You may have seen the folder structure on the left-hand side already. Again, just to reiterate, the platforms are Hyper-V, Cluster, Storage Spaces Direct, and SDN, right? So these are the basic platforms, and you will see separate folders under the HCI management pack folder. Same state, you can see the state of the cluster, what's healthy and what's not. And then comes the SDN dashboards, right? On the again, going by this tree structure, we have Azure HCI stack, then the base OS, then the SDN, right? In SDN, again, for folks who have used the SDN management pack, you will see a common folder structure or dashboards available mainly on the networking side, gateways, network connections, routers within which are hosted on the HCI operating system. Okay. Yeah. Alert view, pretty pretty straightforward within the SCOM. Again, the setup of this HCI MP is also pretty straightforward. You go ahead and import the management pack, and all of these folder structures are pre-populated. All you have to do is point to the right target, deploy the agents, and be able to go ahead and import the monitoring data. And lastly, the storage spaces direct dashboards, right? The storage spaces dashboard have a bit of a unique view, more on the H5 look. So you have, again, this is based on the storage spaces direct management pack, which had a similar look and feel, right? So here you can say which storage volume is healthy, which physical disks are healthy and unhealthy, brings a consolidated view into this management pack. And yeah, file shares groups, storage pools. Basically, these are some of the building blocks of storage spaces direct, and we can see it on the HCI dashboard. Having said that, this would conclude to the SCOM updates or the roadmap. Of course, the preview is out. Some of the features that we want to talk about will be available in the Ignite event. I would definitely want to encourage if there is any Q&A that is possible in this event. Harold, over to you.
Well, that's fantastic, Akash. Thank you so much. It's really great to see the investments that you are making in the SCOM platform, as well as in all the management pack work that's going on. Wonderful to see. There are a bunch of questions did come in, Akash, during your session. Kevin and looks like Bob as well handled some of those questions, but wondering if you could flip over to that live event Q&A window, look at the published questions, and maybe look through any which are unanswered. And we've got a few minutes, so perhaps you could take a stab at answering some of those questions before you drop off.
Sure. The first question which I see here is on the APM side of it. App Insights, App Insights, which is already part of Azure Monitor. Yes, there are no significant investments on the APM side. We are, of course, supporting App Advisor and making sure that we have, we are supporting the latest browsers on the App Insights and App Advisor. But on the APM per se, we have not invested more in the SCOM 2022 side. The reason being, most of the latest applications which are available right now are hosted on cloud, and we have Azure Monitor taking care of it. So, and that's the reason we do not want to go ahead and make a redundant investment. But yes, this has been part of ask. If you think it is still relevant, I would definitely ask you folks to go ahead and post an idea in the user voice. Again, just a small correction: we would not call it user voice anymore. We will call it the feedback ideas, or rather ideas platform. So I would definitely ask you to go ahead and post your ideas there and upvote it. We will look into it. Containers, yes. Again, I did talk about the container side of it. these are some of the things that we are investigating. The more the more feedback, or the more push that we have, or more business value that we see to invest in container monitoring, we can definitely take that up. Just to give you a quick background, about a year ago, we did consider container monitoring as one of our key features in SCOM 2022, but we did not get a lot of customers who, for which we were not able to build a business case around that, and hence we had to drop it, right? So of course we can reevaluate it if you guys can come forward and probably showcase what are the missing, monitoring, features, or where can SCOM step in and help with container monitoring. Which course in Ignite? Yeah, that's a good question. I had made a note. I'm sorry, I missed to put that in the slide. I'm gonna put that in the chat window. I put the Ignite event. Yeah, I replied on Bob's reply. Is SCOM 2022 the same as SCOM SaaS solution? No. SCOM 2022 is just is the on-prem version. It's the next version of SCOM 2019. Simple as that. Okay. Yeah, SCOM. How can we apply for 2020 preview? What I'm going to do is, apologies, just adding that link on the on the presentation as well. Give me a moment. I'll add that. So I have replied to the question, how can we apply for 2020 preview? I pasted a link in the chat. Respond to that, please use that. I would request you to post the 3 links from my side. One is the survey link, the second is for preview, and the third one is the Ignite event.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, VS, Visual Studio authoring tools. Definitely, we are thinking in that direction. Again, that's a completely different ball game. We are looking to work towards making MP development, the whole process of MP development, easier. Of course, people who are using VSAE, we definitely appreciate and call that out. But at the end of the day, we are losing out on many SCOM users who are not able to use VSAE fully because of non-development background, right? So we are looking to work in that direction, and I'll keep you posted on the Visual Studio authoring tools. Have a plan to release SCOM in the cloud, Aquila. Again, we have something in the works. I would rather wait for the Ignite event announcement to talk about Aquila. Thank you for the question. Making the version. That's a very valid feedback on the version agnostic piece. We have not changed anything on the backend or on the classes side of the management pack, so you should be able to upgrade it easily. I believe Kevin also answered that. Yeah. Yeah. There's another question. Version agnostic. Yeah. So the management pack for M365, the update on it, we were looking to target it end of this year. Hopefully we can keep up the timeline, but yes, we will release it soon. Hopefully, keeping fingers crossed, by end of this year, hopefully. REST API calls, again, there's a small update on that. We are working towards improving the REST API documentation tremendously with examples and sample outputs and inputs. Hopefully we'll have that documentation updated soon. But yes, we will, if not for REST API for SCOM 2022, probably in the future for REST API, we definitely want to make it widely used. Yeah, thank you for the suggestion on AD Sync separate, having it separate from Azure MP. Again, we are in the investigation stage. We may, once we have our thorough investigation done, we will look forward to, releasing the MP separately or integrating to Azure MP. Is it possible to monitor other cloud platforms? Again, the question is a bit wide scoped. What exactly would you be willing to monitor with AWS and GCP? Would you be willing to monitor the whole cloud, or is it something specific within the cloud platform? Is it, if it's, say, for example, VMs within AWS, you can always use the base, Windows operating system management pack, right? So that's where the question gets a bit wide scope. Are there any plans to enhance SCOM to work with NTLM disabled? That is one of our security enhancements that we want to look at in SCOM 2022. Look out for Ignite announcement. Azure SCOM as instance product, any official news? As of now, work is in progress. Ignite, look for Ignite event, please. Customer voice has been answered. So that OMS is OMS is a separate topic which is quite significant. We will probably make few announcement next month around the OMS and how SCOM management, SCOM agent is gonna evolve soon, right? So look out for that announcement. Right. Harold, how much time do we have?
We still have a couple minutes of Akash. If you're available to answer a few more of those questions, that would be great.
Yeah, we have shared the Ignite event and shared the preview link. Is the UnR feature under? Yes. So the UnR, again, UnR updates and recommendations, I'm calling it as UnR. Yes, they are constantly updated. Of course, there is a bit of changes that it went that underwent within the backend system. We changed where the MPs were hosted and where they could be updated. There may be a bit of a lag in some of the recent UnR, but feel free to raise a support ticket or probably call the information out in IDS platform if you still face issues with UnR. Will in place a previous supported take system from? That's a good question. Windows Server 2016 to Windows Server 2022. That's an interesting question. We do have in place upgrade supported for 2019 to 2022 SCOM, but I don't know. This is a bit of a more complex situation. I would request you to write to us or probably reach out in the support platforms for that. As of now, I don't think so. From Windows Server 2016 to Windows Server 2022, there is an in-place upgrade platform, but I may be wrong. Yeah, making it DevOps friendly, yes, that is something that we definitely want to work towards. That's a huge work, but yes, we are slowly going towards. We'll slowly want to transition towards that stage. Distributed applications, yes, that I see that ideas, that was one of the upvoted ideas in user voice. I've gone ahead and added that in ideas as well. Probably if we can connect, get to know more details, I would be more than happy. So feel free to drop a note to systemcenterfeedback@microsoft.com.